Hello there. What you're listening to right now is content that was recorded back in 2019 for release on our Patreon, and it was ahead of this particular episode that we were forced to change game masters for this campaign. This was not due to us not getting along or anything like that, but simply a result of Adam's life having changed quite a lot, and his professional and work responsibilities having increased to such an extent that he was no longer able to continue being our GM. You have probably experienced something similar in your own role-playing groups, and as you know, this is an unfortunate but unavoidable fact of life. Now, we couldn't just stop the story there though. We had a commitment to our patrons to see the story to its end. So, Adam handed over the GM role and his future plans for character development to me, Matthias. So what you will hear over the coming 10 episodes is me GMing Jenny, Craig, and Hjalmar. I am also the one who will continue to be the GM as we get into the last Cyclade, which we're in the process of recording right now. And if all goes to plan, and life doesn't throw us any other curveballs, I will be with you as GM until Mercy of the Icons concludes. With that said, Emissary Lost continues.
I have been in many bizarre situations and, well, this is pretty far from most of them. Crawling around in air ducts and tunnels inside Coriolis, looking for the Emissary? Who even is the Emissary? I mean, one of the icons? No matter what, it needs our help. I can feel it. It's like when you put your hand against the hull of a ship and you can feel the vibrations going through it. It's like there's a hum in the air. A distressed hum. And it's kind of getting to me. The other seems more at ease with the crawling around here, but to me it kind of feels like we're in the belly of the beast. This is Red Moon role-playing.
Coriolis, the jewel and beating heart of the horizon, cradle and holy shrine of the Cenethian civilization. Only the icons themselves can outshine this, the most glorious wonder under the stars. 6 kilometers from the bottom of the cellar to the top of the spire, with more than 700,000 souls on board. It's the 61st cycle of this great space station, and it is the segment of the Faceless One. There's only 1 week to go until the festivities of the Cyclade, and the 1-year anniversary of the arrival of the 5 emissaries. Both the now missing emissary here on Coriolis, as well as the one claiming to be the Judge Incarnate that remains on Station FS7. The other 3 have traveled into the horizon, to where none can say. You have been inside the hot and humid, buzzing and groaning, algae-covered inside of the hull of the spire. You have been following the blood trail from the emissary's residence. You followed it here. You have facts. First, you know that the team that did this, the perpetrators, all the facts you've found point to them being Solosian, judging by the programming code in their security meme. It would thus stand to reason that they are members of the Order of the Pariah, or want to look like they are. Soldiers, in good shape, something you'd tell from the body you found. A strike team, perhaps. That the Order would strike against an emissary makes perfect sense. They have been very clear in their view that the emissaries not be who they say they are, that the one claiming to be the judge, especially, is guilty of sacrilege and heresy. They have demanded the blasphemous emissary be booted from the council of the factions, even going as far as sealing off Zalos from outsiders in protest temporarily, and closing the pilgrim route to Mira in the process. They were ultimately convinced to open it up, but the situation remains tense, and this disappearance will do nothing to calm the situation down. Adjudicator Kosha hasn't said it outright, but you get the feeling that you need to solve this really soon, ideally before the Cyclade, or else this will escalate, possibly breaking the fragile peace and balance of power in the Third Horizon, if that is something that can even be protected at this point. You have emerged from this shaft, where the blood trail has led you, into a dimly lit, narrow corridor with tiled walls. The area is well kept, but the smell down here is unpleasant. It smells of blood. You're in some form of complex. The lights are flickering a bit. From here, the blood trail continues in two directions. One up ahead, and the other to the other side of the corridor, and yet another door leading icons nowhere. There's activity coming from a room up ahead, and the other blood trail leads there. That room appears to be very brightly lit, which leaks into the otherwise dimly lit corridor. So, this is where I ask, what do you do?
I start stepping into the area, and I look around at the blood, seeing how it leads into separate directions. I look at the two others. There seemed to be someone up there.
Well, we've definitely found ourselves somewhere. What do you say, Captain? How do we proceed?
It is a tricky situation. Either they are expecting us, either they're expecting to be followed and will be waiting for someone, or we can catch them unawares. It's hard to know.
No, they try to do a pretty good job of getting rid of those trails. I had to really work my ass off here to get here. I really doubt that they are expecting someone to have been able to follow it. I say, looking a bit proud. Do I know where we are?
You do not know exactly. The inside of this hull has been a bit of a labyrinth. I mean, the insides of the station in general are... it's not particularly well ordered, nor particularly well maintained. It's stairs and scaffolding and tunnels, and you can easily get lost here. And you know that you have followed the trail correctly. You know that this is where it leads, but you're not entirely sure where you are.
Are there any data ports or places I could maybe connect my security tablet?
Not in here, no.
I look over to the captain. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
However, you can, using your tablet, I believe it would be reasonable to assume that inside of Coriolis you have some form of geolocator that tells you roughly where in the station you would be. And since you have sort of emerged from these tunnels, yes, I suppose it would make sense for your map to tell you where you are. Would you agree with that?
I would, and I'll just quickly, while Pig is speaking, turn it on and just do a basic check of where are we now in the station.
Well, right now you are in the Samaritan Sanatorium.
What do I know of the sanatorium?
Well, it is run by the Order of the Pariah. It is close to the Infoteca, so it is very much in an area that you have been before.
Ah, I say, as I sort of process this information. Well, that seems to go with our theories even more, Captain. We're in the sanatorium.
Has any one of you been to the sanatorium before, you think?
No, not me.
No.
Or passed it by? You must have seen it from the Infoteca, I bet, yeah.
And I've been reading up about it too, and I've been hearing about it on the news.
then you would know some things about the sanatorium. You would know that it is a vast courtyard, a sort of wonderland of flowing green hills. There's a mosaic path of blues and whites. It really is this place of rest and refuge. You have heard that people who visit this place would remark that even the air smells better here. There's elevated walkways and balconies that are stretching high up into the air of the core that circle the courtyard. And you've seen pictures of like patients, relatives, Samaritans, and even pets mingling on these balconies that are full of laundry lines, tables, and patios.
What's the point of the place? It's just the Order of the Pariah's little sit-down pleasure palace or something like that.
I hear that they bring people here who have suffered from stasis sickness. Anyone who's got some stuff mixed up in their brain, they're going to end up at the Samaritan's sanatorium.
Well, it is open to anyone who needs help. It is functions as a hospital. It functions as a place for those who suffer from mental illnesses. Regardless of status or wealth, everyone is welcome here. But it's mostly poor people who are patients here, as the privileged employ private physicians. And the Order of the Pariah is, well, very much a pariah recently after all the conflicts surrounding Solos. They are very often portrayed as the bad guys, especially to Zenithians. They are seen as this aggressive faction that is a threat. And it doesn't help that they have very high technology, of course, the Order of the Pariah. They have these antimatter weapons that no one else has figured out. And as a result of that, a lot of people are threatened by them. And they are fanatics. Because of this, it is a place that only the desperate go to, even though they offer seemingly very, very good care here.
Well, isn't that interesting? As always, the Order of the Pariah have one face of benign pleasantness, but, well, they're kidnapping an emissary. Evidence seems quite substantial at this point.
Yeah, it makes sense completely. I mean, I think it might just be that this emissary, if you know all the signs are true, that this emissary's got the same kind of powers as Farouk and your bodies and your sister, then maybe that's just one more in the catch, you know. Maybe it's not, about it being the emissary at all. Maybe it's just that, yeah, it fits the bill of having these powers.
Captain, what do you think?
Yeah, the thing is, I rub the bridge of my nose a bit, look kind of exhausted. We know what's over there, but there are trails leading that way as well. Why?
Do you want to sneak ahead, Carlo?
I would love to. Question is, Captain, which way do you want me to go first? Do you want me to go to where it sounds like there are people, or the other way? Maybe the other way would be prudent.
Just make sure that there's no surprise there.
And with that, I give a little quick nod, and sticking to one of the sides of the corridor, begin making my way quietly in the direction away from the activity, seeing where that goes.
So you're moving towards the blood trail that leads to the other side of the corridor and to another door, which is then very close.
Yes.
All right. Well, the door there is unlocked, and you seem to be able to open it up to go wherever it takes you, if you would like to follow that.
I'll take a few steps forwards and see what I can see.
Right. Well, the door opens and there's a stair downward, and it is dark, very, very dark down there.
Kind of look around for a light source.
You have a light source with you, I believe, and, well, it's... In order to actually be able to see anything that actually will tell you anything, you will have to make your way quite a bit down, because here it's just stairs. But it seems to be going very much down, like at a rather steep angle too. So you wonder if it will lead a lot down into the station then. So how far down, you wonder?
I'll pause and quickly backpedal just a little to tell the others. Okay, so stairway number 1 leads to who knows where, but That's option number one. I can't really see anything unless I go down properly, if you get my meaning.
Did you see any trails of blood?
It seems to lead all the way down there, yes. I could see, anyway.
It's not a thick trail of blood or anything like that. It is small spatters, really. Someone has been bleeding, one or two people at the very least. But it continues down the stairs there in a clear way now that you know what you're looking for.
So, we can go that way, or the other way, but I think if we're going to go either way, we might need to go together, unless you two really do want to just stay here for a bit.
I mean, can't you see where's that noise coming from? These people, and that light, what's up there?
That's the other way, Pig.
Yeah, but what's there? What?
Well, alright, Pig, calm down, give me a minute. I give them a little smirk, and I will quietly slink off in the other direction.
And you move towards this brightly lit room, and the light is leaking into the corridor, and you hear that something is going on in there. It sounds like surgery. And you could do a brief peek in, you think?
I shall, being very, very stealthy about it. Sort of getting to the doorway with my back against the wall and just sort of gently poking an eye around.
Can you roll me an infiltrate roll to see how well this goes?
Certainly. 2 successes.
Excellent. Well, then what you see in the room is a man wearing the white and black of the Order of the Pariah, who is conducting some form of basic surgery on a body. An assistant stands with him, and it looks like they're stitching up a wound. This person is passed out. There's a Vulcan carbine and a set of armor on the floor. The two of them are fully focused on the body, and you don't think they will notice you unless you decide to draw attention to yourself in some way. But, Carlo, there is something about the man. He looks very familiar to you.
He does?
Yes, he does. Do you remember the Samaritan on Ghazali?
I vaguely do, yes.
Yes. Well, this is him. Was it Brother Ramos?
Wait a minute. Did we save him? Was he on the ship we took out of there?
He was, yes.
Interesting. Mr. Ramos, yes, I recall the conversation we had, vaguely. I seem to recall the captain spoke with him more. I'm going to poke my head back, look down the corridor at the others, and make a symbol with my hands indicating 2 people in room.
I'll nod and I actually start walking over to you, quietly and slowly.
As you get closer, I whisper, "Well, Captain, wouldn't take too long to get in there. Hands up. There's only 2 of them.
We need to know more, and these will probably talk if we can get them to."
Pig, get your gun out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking out my Vulcan... Let's see. I'm taking out my Vulcan pistol. It's not like I'm gonna pick out a huge accelerator rifle here in the corridor.
And when Pig and the captain are in position, I'm going to get my gun out, my Vulcan cricket, and try my best to just slink into the room, walk right behind Mr. Ramos, gun ready, and say, "Brother Ramos, good to see you again."
And that is what you do then. You have rolled a successful infiltrate with 2 successors, so there's no problem. He's very focused on what he's doing anyways, and he freezes up as he realizes that you are there. And the assistant also looks at you.
I keep my cricket pressed lightly against Brother Ramos's back, and I smile at the assistant, and with my eyes look to Pig, who I assume is ready with his gun on him, hopefully.
I'm moving in as well. I don't have my gun completely raised, but I hold it in front of me as if I'm ready. It's not like I don't seem to go in with lethal intent, really. But I come in, and of course I hold the gun in front of me, and I say, "It's you. You're the one that we rescued off Ghazali."
I can't believe it. Yes. It is. I owe you my life. What are you doing here? Look, you cannot be here.
Well, it might be that the Icon's grace has brought us together again, Brother Ramus. It seems you are a part of something bigger than a mere rescue mission on the Ghazali.
I look over at the body on the table. Does it look like the emissary?
No, it looks like a soldier. You would guess that this is one of the strike team. The one that was one of the two that have been injured as part of trying to get the emissary.
I swallow and say, "What did you do to the emissary?"
I don't know exactly. The strike team. I don't agree with what they're doing. Let me just say that not all of us are the same as them. Before the Icons, there's no room for lies, and he looks towards his assistant as if he's worried about what he's saying here, as if he doesn't want to reveal too much, knowing that there's a witness who might rat him out.
I tilt my head slightly at the assistant. So what's your stake in this?
I don't have a stake. Just don't kill me, please.
Why not? After all, it seems as if Brother Ramus here is admitting that you guys might be behind the whole hubbub taking all of Coriolis by storm. That's quite big, you know. Judicators might be very interested in hearing all about it. You know what I mean?
We treat everyone who comes here. We take care of all, including people who do things that we don't agree with.
This is just very... It's a bit too convenient that you just happen to be in their path.
Well, perhaps it is the Icon's plan. Look, I can tell you what I know, because I think you deserve the truth. You saved my life, and I owe it to you. Whatever reason you have for being here must be connected to what has happened. Then you know that they have taken the emissary. They have taken mystics. All the mystics that they can find.
I frown.
Yeah, and do you know what they're gonna use them for?
No, but I know what they believe. I know what many in the Order believe, that the mystics are the harbingers of the dark between the stars, that the arrival of the mystics, together with the emissaries, that this will bring doom and annihilation.
Are they gonna are they just gonna kill them? What are they gonna do with them?
No, then they would just have killed them on the station in that case. They want to find something out from them. They've taken them to a place that they call the real sanatorium. It must be somewhere down in the cellar, because that's where they took the emissary, and that's where they've taken the others that they have brought.
Have you ever operated on one?
On an emissary?
No, on one of the mystics. Did they bring it? Surely not all that you brought here must have been in good shape.
Danan?
Well, I'm just asking, you know, in case he knows something.
I have operated on people who have been hurt, but there's nothing particular that I can see. I just take care of gunshot wounds and cuts.
Yeah, it must be deeper than that.
Who's giving the orders, Brother Ramus? You said this is not all of the Order of the Pariah. I suppose I can believe that. But who's the one telling you to operate on these men? Who sent the strike team? Who do you all report to? And I look at the assistant as well.
Sister Roba, who runs the sanatorium, she has told us to take care of the ones that come here, even the ones that come through the path that I believe that you must have utilized. The ones who comes under rather mysterious circumstances, to care for them as well, but they don't tell us more than that, and we're not supposed to ask. But they must be taking them somewhere down into the cellar.
The lower level near here, does that lead to the cellar?
It does. That's the path that they've been using. I don't know where they're taking them, but there's people who live there. Slummers, Scavara, and worse. I'm sure some of them must know where the martyrs have taken the mystics.
Brother Ramos, do you share this sentiment that the mystics are harbingers of the darkness?
I do not know what to believe. I do not believe that it warrants doing kind of violence that is being done against them. But certainly something is happening. You felt it. Things are changing, and there is something coming. There is a great darkness upon us. That much I do believe. And I believe that we will once again be faced with the horrors that we saw during the Portal Wars.
Do you think there's a cure for it?
Maybe, or maybe it's the plan of the Icons. I don't know.
Pig, be very careful what you're saying now.
What do you... I mean... I thought you thought... I mean, you didn't... I mean, not everyone seems to want to have these conditions. You've been saying yourself that you're not 100% sure, right? Do you not want to be cured? What do you want to do with it?
I kind of glance over at Brother Ramos and smile at Pig. Maybe the mystics aren't harbingers. Maybe they are here to help. That's always an option as well, isn't it?
Not to mention, I kind of scoff a little at Pig and say, also, Pig, come on. Would you let me get away with saying we should cure your extra arms?
I mean, not all these people seem to have been born with it. You know, it's like things are cropping up. You know, it's like you didn't always have this, Farouk. I'm saying that maybe some people are just sensitive to contracting it, and it has been said it's a disease.
Well, if it is a disease, I've actually had it for as long as I can remember.
Is that right? Why didn't you tell us?
Sometimes, Pig, we don't always need to know everything about someone to work with them and get along. Also, time check, everyone. Keep focused, Pig. And I look back to Brother Ramos. Okay, so we have a name, seller. What else can you tell us, Brother Ramos? Again, judicators really want to get this all sorted nice and quickly. And so do I, funnily enough, so spill the beans.
This is what I know. I know that they're taking them there, but not more than that. If you want to catch them, it wasn't that long ago since they passed through. You might still be able to catch up.
How many could we be facing if we chase after this remaining hit squad?
There was 2 of them.
One's here, and they lost one in the tunnels. So there were 4 originally, do you think?
I'm not sure. I only saw 2. There might be more, but not many more in that case. They brought the body to me, and I started working.
Very well. May the judge pass judgment on your actions, and the Icons guide your way. We should be leaving.
You should. I owe you my life. Believe me when I give you my solemn vow that I will not speak of what has just happened. It would not be in my best interest to do so.
Perhaps you could also give our friend down there a healthy dose of sedatives, so he's asleep for a good while. For his health, of course.
Well, whatever happened to these men was a very powerful force, something I have never seen before. He's not getting up anytime soon.
Well then, I step away and lower my gun. I look to Pig and Farouk. Well, question is, do I give the adjudicator a quick ring or not?
I just give a sulky grimace because I've been sort of shut down.
I still believe we need more before we can actually report anything. We can just turn out that there's no one down there.
In that case, I guess we're going down. Lovely. And with that, I kind of step outside with a light step, and I sort of look at Pig for a moment, and kind of sigh and give them a pat on the shoulder and say, "Come on, Pig."
I holster my gun and I look back at Brother Ramos and I say, what kind of damage is it? What did it do to him?
It's some kind of force that's ripped open parts of his intestines. I don't think that prognosis is particularly good, but I will do what I can.
From the inside?
From the inside, it seems.
Well, that's nasty. I'm sure it is from a benevolent force. I say to Farouk, looking even more sulky. Then I'm following after Carlo.
You see how Brother Rama starts to speak to the assistant. There's a clear hierarchical relationship between the two, and he's sort of really speaking down to him, you suppose, trying to ensure that he doesn't speak of what has just happened and, well, doom him.
And with that, I lead the way back down to those stairs, where again I'll look to the other two and say, "All right, Captain, let me go first, see what's down there, and see what we're dealing with."
The stairs lead down for a long time. Must be maybe 5 minutes or so before you start to make it into something that you can sort of identify. That's not just a stairway. What you see here reminds you of old planet-side crypts. That the station can hold what must be forgotten places like this is further proof of its sheer size. Here and there, enormous beams and riveted ceramic plates show you that you're walking inside the skeleton of the station. And there's endless drops and empty darkness that can be seen around you when you pass from one level to the next. Do you bring the others, or do you soldier on by yourself?
I do. When I establish that this is a very long route, I will go back and, well, I'll continue being the one who scouts ahead. I will expect them to be following me, remarking to Pig, "Well, we've been to the top, and now we're going all the way back down to the bottom," quite literally.
Yeah. I'm not being too curious about what's in here. I've been wondering about the sanatorium, though, and what they do there, but going down here feels... Oh, I don't know. It feels strange.
Yeah, the cellar is not just literally, but also figuratively the darkest place in all of the Coriolis station. It is where all the derelicts and runaways and the criminals go. Anyone who doesn't have anywhere else to go, basically. It's gone as far as the Legion having suggested nerve gassing the whole thing, but, well, the adjudicators have been against that.
I can see why.
And, you continue descending then, I guess, into the shadows of Coriolis.
Indeed. I confess, I have a little excitement. I've never been this far down, but I have heard stuff. At least here we don't need to worry about things like getting in trouble if we shoot the wrong person. Well, at least not with Judicators and the Coriolian Guard. Suits me just fine.
Yeah. Pig looks slightly filled with anticipation as well.
Carlo, you can hear echoes of gunfire. You can all hear that now. Echoes of gunfire come drifting through some corridor far away. Weak voices cry and whimper, and then there's silence.
At this, I take the case off of my shoulder and put it down on the ground, and I open it to bring out my accelerator rifle. It's a long weapon. As you've seen it before when I've been working on it, it's stark white with nice little activatable lamps on the side. Also white, moving forwards, as if indicating the way the projectile would be moving out when it was shot. I've been working on this for ages. It's beautifully decorated with these lights and polished until everything, even in this darkness, seemed to catch its glimmer.
Captain, you gonna be alright down here? Remember, think like we did on the, in prison, yes? Might need to bring out those fists again.
You know, that is not my strong suit, but I'll be okay.
Do you have your sword with you?
I do.
Oh, then you are ready, I suppose. This long gun, Peg,
You feel very powerful with it in your hands. You think that it may become impractical at points, so you will need to probably stow it away when you get to more narrow places. But here, in these open spaces with the endless sort of drops down into darkness, here, there's a lot of space to swing it around.
Before we descend further, I actually stop and I turn to my two friends. And I say, I just want to know, is there any one of you that doubts, with or without this talent I have, what my motives are? Please tell me now, or maybe we should part ways.
I open and close my mouth a few times before I say, well, I'm. What are your motives?
The same as yours, of course. We are friends, Pig.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And I wouldn't be comfortable imposing myself in your presence if you think that I am a harbinger of the darkness, or if I am someone you can't trust, or you are afraid of me.
No, Captain. I mean, Farouk, I trust you. I always have. You're a good friend to me and stuff. And I know you got other friends who's got these powers too, and I understand you want to help everyone. I mean, I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to understand what this whole thing's about. Until a few days ago, I didn't even believe these powers and things were real. But I mean, you say it now with such conviction, and you say that you were born with it. You gotta give me some,
Yeah.
I gotta process it and stuff.
It's just I don't think this is a disease. You won't catch it, and I don't think there's any cure.
Okay, so that's I guess good to know and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah.
But it's never that I don't trust you or what you want to do. I mean, I was just in this for the money from the start, and I always believed in the icons. I never believed that I mean, I don't believe in the emissaries to be the actual icons. I think that's a bit taking it a bit too far. I think it's a bit heretical, but you know that I think that too.
Yeah, but even with what we've seen, one person standing up to all of that carnage.
I mean, I have been trying to find excuses that maybe it's some kind of technology, like maybe it's Draconite stuff that... I don't know, man.
I don't really care what you want. Not in a mean way, I mean the Mystic Revolution, they can do whatever they want. My interests are getting my sister out of this, and then getting us all out of this.
Then we're on the same page.
Indeed.
No conflict of interests there at all.
No, after all, you've been forefront with me, you were spying on me, hell, maybe I was spying on you a little just for my own amusement, and in a way, I'm getting to find out all the stuff I wanted to about you. Well, almost. Suffice to say, Pig, I don't think it's a disease, probably just a mutation. It doesn't really matter to me. There's plenty out there in the stars, the horizon that I don't know about, and I don't really care. What I do care about is my own interests, and then getting out of Coriolis for a while, which is only going to happen when we get Aisha.
I sigh and I bring up my rifle to my eyes and I look through the night sights of it, just scouting through the corridor and the large dark space. Do I see anything?
No, it is mostly just the skeleton of the station that you see. But, well, the path continues, the descent into the cellar continues further. Do you remain here, or do you continue following the trail? It's a blood drop here and a blood drop there. It's
quite a lot of meters in between each of them now. It's becoming weaker and weaker, but you're still able to follow it.
I think I lead the way to continue following the trail, just parting with the words to the captain. And besides, technically, I'm still employed by you to keep an eye out for you.
Having been the one who used their survival skills from the start to even start tracking down this blood trail, I occasionally help Carlo as the trail is too far in between, and I try to use my night sights in the rifle as well to make sure we got sights on something and whatever is around us.
Yes, and you're able to do so, and the night sights and the technology that you have brought helps. So you continue moving forward, and then it is a little while later, Farouk, that you feel a strange uneasiness, followed by a throbbing headache. You hear the unmistakable crackle of a stun gun in your head, and smell ozone in the air. Drip. Something is dripped on your shoulder.
I kind of just stop and try to push everyone to the sides.
Hey, what? What are you doing?
I look up.
There are fans whirring loudly somewhere high up above.
There's something, I don't know. Maybe I'm just on edge.
You look at your shoulder where this drip fell upon. There's a drop of blood. I
dip my finger in it and I hold it up or to the light and I say, or maybe I'm not on edge.
I look up above us.
You look up and you spot up there, it's maybe 10 meters up, on a beam is sort of lodged a Vulcan carbine. Something has happened here, clearly. Farouk? The emissary, did it wake up? You can see... No, not see. It's too far up. You can feel. You don't know how, but maybe you've stopped asking yourself the why you know things a while ago. You feel that the fan blades are bloodied. And yes, that fan is moving irregularly.
It's like someone got tossed into the fan?
But that's impossible. It must be 50 meters up.
But how?
I feel the air, and I feel that there's a slight updraft. Yeah, this is not enough to carry a person.
I kind of stop and frown at both of them, look up myself and say, "You're saying someone's up there? I mean, are we gonna go have a look? I don't know how we get up there ourselves, if we wanted to."
At least what's left of them?
Yeah, probably not, but one less person, and judging from that Vulcan carbine, it's probably one of the soldiers.
I think the situation might be different than what we expect. I think this emissary might be conscious.
You think the emissary did this?
Maybe. I'm not sure. But we did see evidence of extraordinary strength, didn't we?
Yes, Farouk. If you're sure of anything, it is that this is done by the emissary. The emissary woke up, and it threw one of the soldiers up into the fan before being stunned and falling unconscious again. You see the scene before you, somehow.
I just nod. I nod my head and I kind of talk more to myself than to the others. I'm like, yes, that is what happened. That it is true. That's exactly what happened. And I kind of rub my temples a bit.
I give a sort of hand wave in front of Farouk and say, "Okay, Captain, this is useful, but maybe, in that case, I don't see any need to investigate. Let's maybe move quickly. Maybe we can actually... I didn't expect it to be this easy, but maybe we're going to find the emissary before they even take them to wherever they were taking them to."
At least we can catch up with the lost remaining, maybe.
And do you do that then? You continue following the blood trail, or do you try to investigate this carbine and the fans? I will say that investigating them would be... You don't see any obvious way to do that. The beam is about 10 meters up and the fans are 50 meters up, and you don't have any equipment for climbing, and...
I feel it would be a waste of time, and to see that I immediately am back on the trail. I'm actually moving it quite quickly now, though. I've decided that maybe if we're getting closer, we need to get there quicker.
Yeah. I'm all for that as well. We are pressed for time, even from the beginning, and we should move quickly.
And you move quickly. And I would like you to roll a survival roll then, as you are moving quicker now, trying to follow the trail. This makes it more difficult, and you've followed it for quite some time now. Who would like to be the lead tracker?
I think I would, if anyone, but I'd be happy if the others are helping, of course.
I'll help, but I think I would at one point just shove Pig forward and go, "Pig, I can't see where it's gone. Quick, come on.
Yeah, this has happened from time to time throughout this search. And getting it in my way a bit, I fling the rifle on my back and I start trying to go over the ground as quickly as possible, using my communicator to light up the path. Let's see if I get any successes to help me.
Well, I do... You are hesitating, aren't you? A bit, standing...
I feel a bit like I'm being out-teamed a little by you guys, but you can probably notice because you're good at reading people, and we've been together for long. But I'm trying to help, and you know that.
I put my hand on your shoulder and I say, "Go ahead, Pig. I think you are the best at this and should probably be the one leading our way." Try to encourage you and use my command.
Alright, then roll.
I got 1 success.
Then you get a +1 on your survival roll to continue following.
Excellent. No, I don't get any successes. I lose the track. I thought I had it, but I lose it. And I go back a bit. You see me hesitating, and I'm going around, and I can't seem to find it. And I sit down for a bit, and I put my hand to the floor, and I say, "Kindly traveler, let us aid whoever is in need, and help us on our path forwards. If this emissary is worthy of our help, then surely you must want us to find him." No, I still don't get a success.
Then, Pig, the blood trail is gone. You find yourself kind of naturally stopping and realizing that you have lost the track, and not only that, you feel lost. You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. Joining us in the role of Farouk was our dear friend Jenny Jungevall. The music was created by AlphaZone and Sabled Sun and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also used the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on a Black Sea. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Antxon, Graham Barey, and Doug Thomson for their generous support. And we'd of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there, as well as binge the rest of Emissary Lost. You can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play some Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that the song leads us to the truth under a great winged shadow.